I was standing in the kitchen, knife hovering over a lemon, when the invitation arrived. Thin, ivory, heavy with intention. My name wasn't on it, just to the family. That's how I learned I'd been replaced. I didn't sit down, I didn't swear, I just stared at the envelope and felt something old and disciplined slide into place behind my ribs. The part of me that learned, a long time ago, that shock is a luxury, control is survival. Later that night, my daughter called. She didn't start with an apology. She never does when she's already decided she's right. "Dad," she said, voice bright, rehearsed. "So Mark's father is going to walk me down the aisle." Silence stretched. I let it. "He's always wanted a big moment like that," she continued. "And it just makes sense, with the venue, the donors, the optics." Optics. That was the word she used to erase me. I remembered when she was 5, standing on my shoes at a wedding, gripping my fingers like they were the only thing keeping her upright. I remembered promising her mother on her hospital bed that I'd never miss a milestone. I remembered every tuition payment, every late night, every quiet sacrifice that never made it into conversation. I said one thing: I understand. That's the most dangerous sentence I know. I met Mark's family 3 years ago over wine that cost more than my first car. His father smiled like a man used to being agreed with. He asked what I did, nodded politely, then asked Mark about his firm again. My daughter watched closely, learning. At first, nothing changed. Then small things did. She stopped asking for advice, stopped sharing doubts, started forwarding decisions instead of discussing them. When I asked about the wedding plans, she'd say, "It's handled." Handled by whom was never said. The real betrayal wasn't the aisle. It was the assumption that I'd stay useful and quiet, that I'd fund, support, show up, and then step aside without being seen. The proof came in a message she sent by mistake, a forwarded email chain. Subject line: vendor consolidation, confirmed. My name was there, not as father, as financier. They weren't just cutting me out ceremonially, they were using me operationally. I didn't reply, I archived it, and I started planning. Revenge doesn't begin with anger, it begins with inventory. I reviewed contracts, catering, florals, lighting, venue deposits. Everything had been booked under my LLC for tax efficiency. My suggestion originally, my signatures, my liability. I checked timelines, cancellation windows, penalties. I didn't rush. I waited until every vendor passed the point where I could cancel cleanly, but they couldn't replace me quietly. Then I made the calls. I was polite, calm, professional. "Yes, this is correct. Yes, I'm invoking the cancellation clause. No, there's no mistake." By the end of the week, the wedding was still scheduled. It just had no food, no flowers, no lighting rig, no custom stage, no backup generators, no transportation, just a very expensive room and a lot of assumptions. She called me on a Tuesday afternoon. "Dad," she said, breathless now. "Quick question. Have you talked to the catering team recently?" I looked at the lemon on the counter. It had dried where I left it. "No," I said. "Why?" "They're not answering, and the planner says something about cancellations." I let the pause stretch until it hurt. "Oh," I said gently. "Didn't I mention? I canceled everything." Her voice sharpened. "What do you mean you canceled everything?" "I mean," I said, "since I'm not part of the wedding, I assumed my involvement was no longer required, financially, logistically, symbolically." Silence, then panic, then anger. "You can't do this," she said. "This is my wedding." "And I was your father," I replied. "We both made choices." She hung up on me. The confrontation happened 2 days later in my living room. Mark's father came too. He stood, hands clasped, like this was a boardroom misunderstanding. My daughter didn't sit. She paced. "You embarrassed us," she said. "Do you know what people are saying?" "Yes," I said. "They're saying you assumed something that wasn't yours." Mark's father finally spoke. "We can resolve this financially." That's when I looked at him, really looked. "You already tried," I said. "You just forgot to ask." I slid the documents across the table. Copies of the contracts, the clauses, the confirmations. "I won't reinstate anything," I continued, "not because I can't, because I won't stand in a room where I'm treated like a prop." My daughter's eyes filled, not with remorse, with realization. She understood finally that I wasn't reacting, I was concluding. The wedding went on, smaller, quieter, awkward. Mark's father walked her down the aisle under rented lights that flickered once at the start. The catering was fine, generic, forgettable. I wasn't there.
Weeks later, she sent me a message. Long, careful, full of words like misunderstanding and family and hurt feelings. I didn't reply right away. When I did, I wrote one sentence. "I hope you enjoyed the wedding you chose." I don't feel victorious. That's not what this is. I feel clean. Betrayal only works when you keep reaching for people who've already let go. I stopped reaching. I closed my hand. And in that quiet moment, I remembered who I was before I was taken for granted. Justice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it cancels everything and walks away.